And we're live. Thank you, Aaron, for fixing this. So, um, let's get started. Probably one of the most notable changes since last time is that both our iOS and Android applications are now on the app stores. We still haven't announced them officially, and we probably won't do so for another week or so because we would like to polish a few rough edges that still remain. Specifically, we have a problem with draining battery because we don't properly stop video capture when we go to the background, and we'd like to fix the landing page a little bit to make the experience, the landing page on me, Jitsi, a little bit to make the experience a little bit more stable, because at least on iOS it's turning out that deep linking is way too easy to disable involuntarily, and um, so it's a shaky experience. Also, on the mobile side, we will likely add, as part of this effort, um, Lubu, you can maybe talk more about this if you feel there's anything to add, but we'll likely add support for schema links, which means that anyone would be able to create links that point to their own installation of Jitsi Meet. So the Jitsi app would start them, and then it would go to their installation. That would be possible with schema links. Um, on other notes, we have George is making good progress with adaptivity. He's about to start sending probing packets this week. He chased down a few nasty bugs with the new commits last week, so that's pretty cool. We also are doing some experimentation with perk. This might be put on hold currently for other reasons, but for other priorities. But it's probably worth mentioning. Um, Let me look around and see. What am I forgetting? The work on peer-to-peer connections for one-to-one calls is also progressing very nicely. Um, Pablo, feel free to add any specifics if you want to, but we hope that we will start testing at the end of the week. Um, it's working really nice. The way that we're doing it is that we always keep the peer connection with the bridge alive, uh, but we also try to establish a direct connection, and if that works, we switch there. And the switch itself is fairly painless. It is noticeable, but it's painless. It's very, very short. It's just a blink in the video, and we may try to mask that if necessary. We'll see after testing. Um, Gus, delay between audio and video. Yeah, that's not. I mean, that happens. That's just that's just the internet. We're not doing anything with audio and video, so most of the time when there's delay, it's because Chrome has given up. Um, I guess that's it for the quick update. I'm going to let anyone from the team add anything to what I just said. Oh, Aaron will be spending time on trying to. There have been a number of complaints about our Gibris, and they are pending a rewrite because someone unmuted close to me. So they're pending an update because we want to also extend Jibri to support a bidirectional communication use case for using video gateways. So when Aaron spiked on that last week, and it's looking pretty good. We were able to connect the Meet conference to a legacy video device, and it worked really nice. So we would be extending Jibri to support that, potentially rewriting it in Java to use the rest of the GT components. But before we do that, we'll try to stabilize the current deployment a little bit so that people can reliably use the service as it is offered on Meet Jitsi. There. Anyone wants to add anything?
Maybe the fact that we'll be deploying gigases.
Yeah, we will be deploying gigases. Thanks, Damien. We'll be deploying gigases on Meet Jitsi. So if you're using the Chrome extension to schedule meetings, they would now also come with telephone numbers that you can use to join. And that's pretty cool. We did this in collaboration with Vox Implant, who were kind enough for the first time. We've been chasing down media servers. I'm sorry, Vox Implant were not kind enough for the first time. They have been kind enough for a while. But for the first time, I'm talking to a media server vendor, and they were happy to hear out our requirement, which was that we should be able to send multiple audio SSRCs at the same time. And most of the media servers, including FreeSwitch and Asterisk, just barf when you do that, even though it's standard RDP functionality. Very annoying. Very annoying. It's true. Vox Implant implemented support for this, which means that our gigases will basically be acting as audio-only video bridges. And if anyone else wants to use Vox Implant, they would have that feature for free. And if anyone else would want to shame Asterisk and FreeSwitch for not doing it, well, you should do it. Okay. There. Anything else? In that case, we're going to switch to open mic. Anything to discuss? I know we have such a great audience today. Look at this, 16 people. So Varun, Karthik, you had something to discuss with the mobile team.
Yeah.
Lubo, are you here, by the way, because you're appearing grayed out?
Hello, can you hear me?
We hear you, Karthik. I'm just trying to. Okay,
I'm
Lubo is also here. So
Yeah,
Karthik
okay.
had a question for you.
Yeah, I want to know, like, can I set up this React Native Jitsi Meet for web and start looking into call stats issues which you faced earlier on when you were trying to integrate call stats with React Native?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Okay, can I use this React Native for web? Like, it has 3 options, right? Android, iOS, and web.
So we have 2 options using the web, like we are currently doing here on this call. And then the other option is a mobile app that's written in React Native. And with the mobile landing page that Emil mentioned, we want our web users on mobile to see the mobile landing page. We basically tells them install the app, and we don't want them to be using the web.
Okay.
Lubo, I think his question is he's starting to work on React Native, and he just wants to know how to test with the code. So Karthik is from CoStats, and he's starting the integration. He just wants to know how to be able to test, I believe.
So said that he's writing a document how to build the app and run it.
Okay.
That's pretty much the way that we're gonna do. I'll ping, so he's here. So he can tell you how far this document is, and we'll commit it into the repository, and that's gonna explain how to run the app. It's a React Native app, so there's nothing specific to our project to it. So even today, a developer can go to a React Native site and see how apps are started from there. But anyway, like we was working on a document, so we're gonna have it.
Okay, so I just want to know, like, there's no web support as of now, only Android and iOS support.
I don't think you would reproduce the issues that we're hitting if you're using the web version.
Okay.
Lubo, is that true?
We don't have a web version. The current web version is the one that's running in this call, and there's no other web version. So
Okay.
the problem that we have with call stats is because React Native isn't a browser, so it doesn't contain it. It doesn't provide WebKit, so
Yeah.
it's basically a process with JavaScript built in, like Java core, a JS core running inside the process, but that's all. And React Native also provides a window property, global property, and like basic stuff, but not everything is there. Like there's no document with polyfilled, and of course, since it's a separate environment that it's not a browser, I think Pavel was looking into call stats on React Native that like crypto functions aren't implemented like in the browser and stuff like that. But yeah, basically you don't need to test with the web version. You need to test with the React Native version.
Okay, because the in the repository, the README file also told about the web version, so I thought it might work on web also.
So we used to have a web version actually that was dedicated to the React project before we merged the two projects, and now the web version is this basically because we've merged them. But as Lou just explained, the problems that we're hitting are specific not to React but to React Native. So you wouldn't hit those issues unless you're doing this on mobile. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Saul, who's showing on Disco with the raised hand, is about to say something, but you can also try to connect with him directly. If you would it be a problem for you to actually build the app on iOS, Karthik, or on Android?
Yeah.
It should not be a
so
problem.
you're-
Yeah, both the devices. I was just interjecting just now to just say that we don't have to get a proper version of the document ready. We can work with something that's still work in progress. Maybe because the testing call stats with this app means that it'll break even before the call is set up. So the only thing we want to know is how can we redirect the calls to instead of meet Jitsi to like something that we run into.
Just type the full address.
Yeah.
Just type the full address and it'll go there.
Oh, okay.
But it would need the site to have a valid cert.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so feel free to reach out if you need anything. I kind of stalled the document a little bit because we changed how we do the iOS part. We used to bundle Crashlytics and not anymore, at least in the public version. So I need to remove that since you guys are working on it. I'll commit what I have by tomorrow and make a few improvements. So by the end of the week, hopefully we have the final version. But just in case you start working on it, you have something to start from. Though it's not like a super complex thing by any means, since we removed that part. So it's pretty much a standard looking React Native app. But anyway, we will have a document. So
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Anything else?
I just wanted to follow up. I think we had a side discussion between ML and I about the bridge.
No, don't acknowledge that. Don't acknowledge that.
Okay.
I'm joking. That was a joke, Varun.
I thought I'll stop anyway, but yeah. So the thing was about the bridge statistics. I think from our end, we're ready to go. Karthik, is there like a checklist at our end that you want before this goes live?
It's already live.
Okay.
What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
I was asking Karthik if the bridged conference statistics were already live from our end. He just indicated they're live, so I think you have the green light to send the data, and if you're already sending the data, we should see the bridge conference.
Actually, well, why don't I show it to you right now? Here's how the data looks for a specific call. Oh, I need to install the extension. Okay.
And I'm seeing ML Evolve is having connectivity issues at my end. So.
Oh, that's an interesting. That's
Same here.
They'll install desktop share extension. Awesome.
I've been seeing this for last 20 minutes, so.
You what?
I'm seeing MLIVAV is having connectivity issues since the beginning.
Yes. Well, that's because MLIVAV is having connectivity issues. Specifically, there is a bug in Chrome that we're trying to chase down, where actually everyone, if you could go vote for that bug, that would be greatly appreciated. Let me paste it in here.
I think I already voted up for that.
Yes, you did, but you're not the only person on this call.
Yeah, sure.
So if everyone could please go vote for this, that would be greatly appreciated. So the issue is that sometimes, and we believe this is somehow related to bandwidth estimations that we send to Chrome, but for some reason, when we ramp up, sometimes Chrome would just stop sending. Out of the blue, no packets leave Chrome anymore. And it's not clear why. There are some error messages. It looks like the encoder, the RTP sender in Chrome is expecting a certain resolution, but then the encoder suddenly produces a different resolution, and then the whole thing barfs and stops sending. And we're seeing that very often on Meet Jitsi. We feel just maybe related to resolutions or not sure, but this is a known Chrome bug. So please go there and vote for it. What else were we talking about? Oh, yes, I wanted to show. So for some reason now, my desktop streaming extension is refusing to let me start streaming. Okay, let's try again. By the way, Damien, can you have a look? It looks like after a fresh install of the application, it's not possible to stream immediately. Okay, so this is, does anyone hear me?
Yes, but I'm seeing black video from you.
You sound super choppy, Emil. Like, very bad.
I can hear you very clearly, no problem.
That's interesting. Do you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. First of all,
it's just Emil that's just super choppy, right? Because I hear everyone else perfectly clear.
Yeah, same here. I can't see Emil and I hear him super choppy.
Yeah, I can't see Emil, but audio quality is clear.
well, let's see if that can. How do you hear me now?
Yeah, it's
perfect.
Okay. So here's the co-stats page. Does anyone see the co-stats page?
No.
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 Amazing. Let's see. Who wants to take this issue?
Like, we can also discuss it like beyond this, but
well, no one is seeing my screen
So
right now.
Now we see you.
Okay. Good. So first bug report for co-stats. When I click on show usernames, nothing happens. Oh, now it happened. Okay. Well, I still submitted a bug because it doesn't always work. So when I go down, am I supposed to be able to see, where am I supposed to see the per bridge statistics? In conference graphs?
yeah, you should see the
packet sent and something. I think Bridge is sending only 2 parameters right now.
Which are what?
Byte sent and packet sent or something like that.
Damien, aren't we also sending loss and stuff like that?
Yes, I think so.
Who is writing so much? Oh, George, I'm sorry. Are we bothering you?
No, it's fine. I'm trying to help Gus to hear you properly.
Okay, so anything that says to Jitsi is basically, anything where Jitsi reports, but I don't see anywhere Jitsi reporting here.
not on the peer connection. Let's go to the media. Oh, or Karthik, do you want to take this? Do you know?
Hello?
Hello, Karthik.
Oh, sorry, I muted. You had to select the media stream tracks.
I hope I'm also making a point with the speed here.
Yeah. But 16 people in a call, that's like insane amount of people.
Well, it depends on the perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you really want to wait, make 16 people wait while we... So I think the point is
just to be clear, I'm not making 16 people wait. You are. Okay, well, let's skip that part then. And we'll continue that discussion offline. But Karthik, can you reach out to Damien and see why you are not getting the rest of our statistics? Because loss is a pretty important one too, and we're sending
Yeah,
it.
I'll check what all the statistics we are getting, and I'll just report to Demian what we are seeing.
Okay. Okay. Anything else that people would want to discuss?
Yeah, so I and Gus are starting to work on. Well, Gus started like a long time ago, but this is something that I want to address. Is the removing the restriction for the root, the context of the app to be the root. So Gus had some PRs there, and he had to rework them, and the times come when he feels like it's too much work for nothing. But anyway, I wanted to ask if anyone here feels that their deployment or like their use case will be broken if we allow the app to not explicitly need to be in the root of the web server, and it can be served from a subdirectory. Yeah, that's all. I'll try to fix that, to add this thing sooner rather than later, because Gus needs it as well.
Lubo, is your question whether someone would be unhappy if that extra option occurs?
Yes, like where, because it's gonna be automagical. Like the app is gonna recognize the context in someone is using a very complex thing on their deployment when the room name is not at the end of the URL or something like that, and maybe like this word gets in conflict with their deployment. That's just a question. Is someone aware of a case they have where this could impact them? Okay, thank you.
I'm just to. I'm very happy for this to occur. I wasn't worried about spending a lot of time. That didn't amount to anything. This is primarily me being completely unfamiliar with React. So I tried and I got it kind of working in the old code, and then you guys improved things, which made all of my changes obsolete. But I'm not unhappy. I'm very happy that things are progressing. It's just that I can't do this again in React simply because I lack the knowledge. So if you could help me out there, that would be awesome.
Thank you.
It sounds that you have one Lubo on your side, so that's a great alliance to have. So a couple more notes. We will be revamping the last 10 work, and we are no longer going to hide participants when they are kicked out of last 10. We're always going to show all thumbnails for all participants at the bottom, and simply some of them will not have video displaying. We're doing this to be compatible with also the web work, sorry, the mobile work. So there's that. And one more thing, we're looking for a volunteer. And Gus, I'm looking at you right now because you were the last dominant speaker, but doesn't have to be you. There was a okay, well, it's still your thumbnail with someone eating your ear. I hope your ear is okay. So So it seems to be intact. Okay, we have this contribution from I'm not sure who that was, Gabor someone. I forgot the family name, about introducing an intermediate screen for Firefox in desktop streaming so that you can choose whether to share your desktop or a tab. And we have now instituted a ban on any new UI code that is not React compliant, because we have to move our entire user interface to React. I feel that this is going to be a very straightforward conversion. To convert that Firefox thing to a React component, it's just a dialogue that we need to show as a React component. So the person who made the contribution has been incredibly patient with us, because I believe the contributions has been there for months now. So if anyone wants to take that work, even if it's just to try and cut their teeth basically with React, that would be a great way to do it. I'm going to leave that hanging for 5 seconds, and then we're going to move on. Boris?
It's 19 hours.
Sorry, I missed the last 2 sentences because there was someone at the door. You mentioned me. I don't know if that was jokingly or not. What I gathered was that there was a big part of the issue resolved around reporting stuff to React. For all of the same reasons that I asked help on the context root issue, I don't think I would be able to do this.
No, so when I mentioned it was half jokingly. I'm just looking for a volunteer. And what I said was that this is a very straightforward task. So if you're not, you or anyone else experienced with React, this would be a great project to step into React. It's very basic. We have a dialogue that we need to just make reactable. It's very straightforward. So I don't need to have an answer now. I'm just putting it out there. If anyone wants to try and have a look at this would be greatly appreciated. Boris, can you remind me the number of the issue so that people can look at it, or just paste it in the chat? I don't hear Boris. Does anyone hear Boris?
Not me.
Not me.
Boris, your microphone is not working. Can someone paste that issue in the chat?
I'll do it.
Thanks, Damien. Okay, anything else? Any other business?
This is a side business at best. I'll be attending FOSDEM in Brussels next weekend. I think Damien is going to be there as well. Will others be there as well?
Ingo is going there too.
I'll be there too.
So, correct.
Okay, cool. Perhaps we could meet up.
I guess we'll meet at the real-time lounge.
That sounds like a plan. I'll be there for the XMPP, the XSF stand as well.
Okay, great.
I have something in related to what we are discussing, so please
go ahead.
Yeah, Boris just reminded me that people who are using Last 10 now have to explicitly enable Last 10 notifications. That's it, in the bridge. I will.
Why?
Because we have disabled them because the smoke tests were failing. Don't you remember? We had the discussion Friday.
Can we not disable them in the tests only?
Wow. But then on production, it's gonna. Well, we can disable them in the tests only. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, could you please do that?
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks. Because I don't see us keeping that permanently.
True. Yeah.
So let's just disable them in the tests until we fix the tests.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, then please everybody disregard.
Any other business?
I'm not sure if it's something for the call, but as you know, I'm working on packaging stuff for Debian. And as part of the release process, we might want to consider dropping the snapshot business from Maven, and so that everything that goes into the stable repository is not based on a snapshot, but on an actual release, and release those packages also to Maven Central.
So that's basically with the purpose of doing reproducible builds?
Reproducible builds is something we kind of actually have now, but with the pinned snapshots, it's not something that Maven usually does. And I think it's still causing issues with, for example, SBT. And the idea would be that we don't use pinned snapshot versions, but do actual releases that are that don't have a snapshot in there, and do proper versioning. And do that proper versioning when we do an actual release from unstable or testing to stable.
Damien, do you see any problems for us stepping out of this thing? It makes sense to me.
Because like now, when we update a version to a pinned snapshot, it's kind of doing a release of, say, Ice4J or libjitsi, and updating those pinned versions in, say, the video bridge or in Jitsi desktop or whatever other downstream project. It's like importing a different stable version.
Well, the important part here is for the builds to actually be relying on specific version, right? It doesn't matter what the source code says. The source code can still point to the snapshot version, correct?
Yeah.
And we can just change that in the builds. Damien, do you see any problem with this? Or Aaron?
I mean, this isn't a short-term solution or something. It would be something that we do progressively, and it would involve kind of having a stable version of libjitsi and Ice4J API-wise. If we're releasing them, especially for Ice4J, this is an issue, and
this is or isn't an issue?
It is an issue because we're or the Jitsi projects aren't the only ones that are using it.
Yeah, but also the API isn't particularly changing there.
It did in the past, and yeah, kind of releasing that as stable with major minor build. We kind of should take care of that from, yeah, basically now on.
So Damien is heavily thinking about this right now. Let's give it some thought. I don't see a problem. I think that makes sense. Anyone else? In that case, we're going to close this wonderful call today. It was great seeing you all. Have a great couple of weeks and see you again in February. Bye-bye.
Bye.